It was just a normal day. I checked my mailbox, same as I do every day. But there, amidst the usual bills and advertisements, was an envelope. Its paper was yellowed with age. My name scrawled in a handwriting I hadn't seen in years. It was from my grandmother, who had passed away 5 years ago. I dismissed it as some kind of prank and tucked it away in a drawer, telling myself I'd deal with it later. But a week later, another envelope appeared. The same faded paper, the same familiar script. This time, curiosity got the better of me. As I held the second envelope, a sense of unease settled over me. I slowly opened it, revealing another single sheet of paper. This time, the message was more cryptic. Beware the sins of the past. The attic holds the key. My heart skipped a beat. Could this really be from her? What secrets was she trying to reveal? Compelled by a mix of fear and curiosity, I made my way to the attic. The door loomed before me, its surface rough under my touch. I pushed it open slowly, the hinges groaning like the echoes of the past. This attic hadn't been opened for many years, and I could feel the darkness pressing in around me as I crossed the threshold. The air was thick with dust, and the faint smell of old, forgotten things filled my lungs. I fumbled for a light switch, my fingers trembling in the dark. The light flickered on, casting a dim glow that barely pierced the thick shadows. As my eyes adjusted, I saw old furniture covered with dust sheets, like ghosts frozen in time. A sudden draft swept through, stirring the dust into swirling patterns. In the corner of the attic, something caught my eye. A large, ornate mirror, its surface covered in a layer of grime. I felt an inexplicable pull towards it, as if it was calling to me. I approached the mirror, my reflection barely visible through the grime. As I wiped the surface with my sleeve, a chill ran down my spine. In the cleared patch, I saw not just my own face, but the faint outline of another figure standing behind me, watching. I spun around, but the attic was empty. Heart pounding, I turned back to the mirror, only to find my reflection staring back, alone once more. How is this possible? Why is this happening? The question swirled in my mind as I stared at the letter in my hands, the familiar script, the yellowed paper. It was undeniably from her. Return to the attic, it commanded. A sense of dread filled me, but beneath it, a compulsion I couldn't ignore. It took me hours to muster the courage to even consider returning to the attic. My hands trembled as I held the letter, its message echoing in my mind. I don't think I can do it, I thought, but the compulsion was too strong to ignore. With hesitation, I climbed the attic stairs once more. The air was thick, heavy with the weight of unseen eyes. The familiar creaks of the floorboards under my feet seemed louder, more ominous. The mirror stood silently, its surface reflecting the dim light. As I approached, the mirror loomed before me, its surface clouded with dust and time. I wiped it clean with a shaky hand, revealing only my own reflection. A wave of unease washed over me as I waited, half expecting the woman in the mirror to return. But the mirror remained still, reflecting only the dimly lit attic. I let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. Then, a sudden creak echoed through the attic, making me jump. I spun around, searching for the source of the noise. My eyes darted across the room, finding nothing but shadows and dust-covered furniture. The silence pressed in on me, thick and suffocating. Just as I began to question my sanity, another sound, a faint whisper, caught my attention, drawing me back toward the mirror. As I turned back to the mirror, the whisper grew louder, more urgent. The surface of the mirror seemed to shimmer, distorting as if something was trying to break through from the other side. My heart raced as I watched, transfixed. Slowly, the outline of the woman reappeared, her features gaunt and eyes filled with desperation. "Help me," she whispered again, her voice a haunting echo that filled the room. It took everything in me not to run out of the attic again, but I knew I couldn't leave, not now. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. The woman's gaze locked onto mine, her eyes filled with a mix of sorrow and urgency. "Find the letters," she said, her voice a mere breath. "Break the curse before it's too late." I gathered my courage and asked, "Why me? Why do you need my help?" The woman's gaze intensified, her eyes pleading. "You are the only one who can see me, who can break the curse." I hesitated, then asked, "Did you send the letters? Are you my grandmother?" The woman's expression softened, and she nodded slowly. "Yes," she replied, her voice a faint echo of the past. "I am bound to this house, to the secrets it holds. Only you can set us free." The weight of her words pressed down on me, the gravity of the situation sinking in. "What must I do?" I asked, my resolve hardening. "Find the letters I left behind. They hold the key. The secrets they reveal come with a price," she warned, her form beginning to fade. "Hurry, before it's too late." As her figure faded into the shadows, I was left alone in the dim attic, the weight of her words heavy in the air. I knew what I had to do. Steeling myself, I began my search, determined to uncover the truth hidden within the letters. But where do I start? Where do I begin? I muttered to myself, the enormity of the task ahead dawning on me. My eyes fell upon an old grandfather clock in the corner, its pendulum still and time frozen on its face. Something about it called to me, as if it guarded the secrets I needed to uncover. I approached the clock, its presence imposing in the dim light. The wood was worn, the carvings intricate and aged. I reached out, my fingers grazing the surface, feeling a chill emanate from it. With a deep breath, I opened the clock's cabinet, revealing a hidden compartment behind the pendulum. Inside, tied with a faded ribbon, were the letters. My hands trembled as I untied the faded ribbon, revealing a stack of yellowed letters. Each one was addressed to me, in the same handwriting as the first. I carefully opened the first one, my eyes scanning the faded ink, but it seemed to be nothing more than mundane family updates. The same went for the next few. By the time I got to the last letter, I was certain it held something important. But as I unfolded the fragile paper, my heart sank. It was just like the rest, filled with trivial news and idle chatter. Disheartened, I left the letters there and made my way out of the attic. Days passed, and just as the memory of the attic began to fade, another letter arrived in the mail. This one bore a chilling instruction: burn the letters. A shiver ran down my spine as I held the letter, its command clear. I knew I had to do as it instructed, so I gathered the letters and, with a heavy heart, set them aflame. The flames consumed the paper quickly, turning secrets to ash, but I couldn't shake the feeling that this was far from over. As the last of the letters turned to cinders, a sense of unease settled over me. Compelled by a mix of fear and curiosity, I returned to the attic, the shadows seeming darker than before. I approached the mirror, my reflection barely visible through the grime. It took everything in me not to run out of the attic again, but I knew I had to face whatever awaited me. My heart pounded in my chest as I stared into the murky glass, waiting for the woman in the mirror to return. The silence pressed in around me, thick and suffocating. Then a sudden sharp crack filled the air as the mirror shattered, shards flying across the room. I stumbled back, a gasp caught in my throat as darkness closed in around me. The mirror was gone. The letters were ashes. I had no answers. Lost and overwhelmed, I left the attic, the weight of the unknown pressing heavily on my shoulders. As I closed the door behind me, I knew one thing for certain: some mysteries are better left undisturbed.
Cortas porque no es tu primo.